One of these days, I'll get an actual light that can light me up.
It's so weird because you said it was like sun shining and it still was showing like it was overcast.
The sun is shining. The sun is very high in the sky. It just, I don't know. This computer just like shadows or something. I don't know. I even have a light on above me, but it's a weak light.
All right. Anyway, hello to everyone watching or doing a replay.
Yes.
So go ahead and put a hashtag replay for watching the replay. Or comment or whatever. Oh, it looks like someone on there. So
Sorry.
see, that's what was on Sunday in my house. I was like, everyone's going crazy. We can't do
I know. Sorry. Forgot to tell my
this.
son I was out here, and I think he just saw me and was like, God damn it. I got all mad, stomped away. Anyways, welcome to my house.
Right?
Anyways, what are you reading?
Not Cicadia. I'm out 70% basically.
Ah.
That's my main
How,
one I'm reading.
how
But
are you
yeah,
liking?
I like it so far. It's a slow build, so I'm anxiously awaiting. I know the other shoe's about to drop, and I'm just like, when is it gonna drop?
Yeah, it's a slow one, but I loved it. I loved it. I know I gave it 5 stars, so
I'm really liking it so far. So it's
I
definitely the vibes for
it is
Gothic.
it's super vibes for Gothic, yeah. I am reading Philomena and the Seven Deaths, and I'm like 40% of the way in that one, and it's a why choose Gothic romance, and she dies like 7 times, and every single time she comes back and like another monster has found her. And oh my gosh, the monsters are cool so far. There's like she first meets a Reaper and then a vampire king. And then she meets Dr. Jekyll. And of course, there's Mr. Hyde with him. And it's almost as if they're two completely separate people. So I count those as a separate person. And now it's Cthulhu. Cthulhu has arrived. It's a
Wow.
crazy one. The book's okay so far, but
Okay.
the deaths
Is
are
it
pretty interesting.
was it a Kindle Unlimited or a set for Kindle Day?
No, no, neither. I bought it.
You bought-
I bought it. It was $3.99,
There
five
you
ninety
go.
nine. One of those.
Gotta
Um,
see what you were
the
thinking.
cover I love. It's a really cool cover, and it's been haunting me for a long time, and I've been wanting to read it for a long time. So I've been doing that one, and then today I should be able to finish it in like an hour. It was a very short book. Um, Devil at the Gates by Lauren Smith. It's a Gothic historical. So I'm listening to that one on audiobook. It's okay.
Okay, yeah. One is that the one that's the pirate one that you read? No rest
Yeah.
for the wicked or something like that? Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I really like the writing. Her writing is great. I just don't know if I like the story. It's like a novella. So
Okay. Because they're B and Tara, I think, are reading that for this month. So I'm like, do I
I know.
do I add that to my TBR
Yes.
and try to read it in
Read
time?
the read the pirate book.
Read the pirate book. Oh yeah, that's like
I
why am I
love
even asking? That's a stupid question, Crystal. Always
that.
read the pirate book.
I really loved that book. Like really, really loved it. So
Okay.
yeah. In fact, I read the second one in that series. I didn't love it as much as the first one, but it followed like one of the guys in the first series. So
Okay. Yeah, I think
yeah.
it was on my Libby app, so I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's
Just
good.
in
It's
case,
good.
so.
I really like Lauren Smith's writing. Like it's really good. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Speaking of writing,
Yes.
so our book this month was a very long one
Yeah, what?
that I
Reveal
still
the chapter.
it still get the title confused, but it's Heat of the Everflame.
Mhm. Mhm.
So should we go right into what we rated it? I know this was a reread for you. So what's your second rating as you
Um,
reread?
I'm gonna leave mine at a 5, but I will have to say reading this twice in what it's been 2 or 3 months when I read it initially. So I'm like, I could have done without the reread. I was like, oh wow, this is a lot. So long. Although I did like getting to see where something happens, and I'm like, oh yeah, now I see where it all clicked in. I saw it a mile away. I'm like, it was so obvious. Why did I miss it? So
Yeah.
I, yeah, so still a 5 star to me. I think there was just so many plot points at the end. And I was like, that's why it started feeling long because it felt like there's so much happening, kind of similar to Iron Flame. There's so many twists and plots that it was like it almost because of that felt like it drags. But other than that, I just love Penn writing, and I just love this story, and I can't wait to the freaking final one to be released.
Yeah. I hate how long this book is, but I did give it a 4. So I really enjoyed it, but there definitely were so many parts that could have been cut out. I really just don't think we needed I know you said 700 something pages. I don't know. The thing I said read 1,000. So either way, 700
version is 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah, even at 750 pages, that's too long for me. It was just way too long for me. But with that being said, there were so many elements in this that I freaking loved. Just overall, again, the writing. I love the whole story. I think she's crafting a very well crafted story in this. It's just beautiful. I love Luther. I love him. She made me anxious in so many moments in this book, and like to the point it was like, oh, but I love that. I love that. Like, I love when she's able to make me like laugh or cry, or you know what I mean, like you said, feel something. And it was really good. It was really good. But I will not be rereading this book ever.
Yeah,
ever.
I don't because I read it a second time, because it's too soon, I'm like this time it felt like a 4-star, but because I know it's because I read it too close back to back. And even then I felt like because there were so many plot points, I'm glad that I reread because it's primarily through audiobook, and even through audiobook it was slow this time, but
Was
even
it?
at like 2 times I was able to read it at 2 times speed, and that's unheard of for me.
Oh wow. Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. I think there was just but yeah, because it's too close, and that's probably why I'm not going to change my rating down to it, but the experience was more of a 4-star this time.
Yeah.
But I definitely it was the first time around reading it, it felt we finally got our burn for the slow burn.
Did we? Did we? We'll talk about that.
Right? It was a little yes. But still, we got something.
Yeah. But what else worked for me? The ending. I loved the ending. There was so much action in this. Like in between some slower parts. Those kind of things I really loved. I loved going to each of the different kingdoms. Like I was living for that.
Fun to experience
I was
that,
living for that because you know me, I love a good road trip. So like going to the different kingdoms and seeing all the different kings and
yeah.
that was so great for me. Like, and then the camaraderie between all the characters and everything. I mean, yeah, I just loved it so much. Yeah.
I love Tyrion. He cracks me up every time. He's just like the what you call it, the
He's the comedic relief.
Comedic relief there.
Yeah, sure. Taryn's great. But speaking of Taryn, should we go right into what didn't work for me?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. What didn't work for me was them almost killing Taryn off. So bad. That's when I messaged you. I was like, no.
I'm not giving you nothing.
If they killed him off, I would stop reading right this minute. I will not finish this book. I'm so pissed. I was so mad. But that's also, again, why I loved this book, because I really was like, oh, there's no way. He's the main character. They're not going to kill him off. But, you know, the way it was going was kind of getting there. Like, I was like, well, maybe I'm second guessing myself. Maybe she will kill him off. And, you know, it just... Anyways, I know, spoilers. Sorry.
Well, we've always said
this is spoilery.
This is book club where we actually talk about spoilers, because like I feel like it ruins what you talk about in book club. So
I can't talk about this book without spoilers. Another thing that really, really, really didn't work for me in this book particularly, not even in previous book, This wasn't a slow burn. This was blue balls. Okay. This was straight
Yes.
blue
Yes.
balls. Because it'd be like the interruptions and then the constant like knee jerk reaction of them like getting into it and then just not. Like it drove me.
I I always
Almost threw my damn Kindle at like the 80% mark. When it happened again, I literally almost threw my Kindle out. I was so pissed.
I yeah, I was like, I had to comment and I'm like, hey, like she's really edging everybody on this big book.
Super edging. Like it
Two books
just
are writing that were being edged. And I'm like, okay, let's just get to something, please. And I was really annoyed about the mom
something.
interrupting. So that was
Yeah.
so weird.
Oh, it's so weird.
So weird.
Ugh, yeah, no, that was weird. And then I almost feel like I know it's not like out of character for Luther, but he was almost a wet blanket at times with his devotion to her, like going, whatever you choose, I'll be behind you. It's kind of very heavy-handed like Rhysand was in Akatar. Like to me,
Oh yeah,
like I know everybody loves Rhysand. Okay, I don't dislike him either, but I feel like it's so heavy-handed that I just start
over the head.
rolling my eyes over it. Like have some dimension. You know what I mean? It's okay if you don't like her decision. It's cool. And he
Yeah,
almost
that's
stopped fighting
yeah,
her.
like I do like it when they have some sort of disagreement or something where it's attention, but I think he's still very protective. He gets mad that she's doing something or whatever and he's trying to protect her.
Yeah.
But I don't know, yeah. I see that, but he can almost come across a little too much.
Yeah. It like was
But
just
he's so
like
devoted to her.
it's so obvious he wants her to be his mate. So like God, Luther.
Yeah. He's such a simp.
I
And that's
love it.
it's like he's such a cinnamon roll.
I love him. No, I love him so much. I love Luther. Everybody needs a Luther. Everybody needs a Luther. I stand by that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
What was working? What wasn't working for you in the reread?
Um, definitely all the different plot points where I was like, oh, she could have ended it here and it would have had more of an impact or something like that. Because, oh gosh, at any sort of point in time, like, don't get me wrong, the ending gave me like the gasp. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
What is she doing to? Stop it.
you can't, you can't kill the main
I was
character.
like, get off the island. Get off the island now. Raise your feet. I was like that.
I'm
I
like,
was with that. I was like in it. I was on the edge of my seat.
oh, what's his name? Pacey? What's his name? Parth?
Perth? Perth?
Perth? Perth?
Yeah.
He died?
I
I did not
know.
like that.
I didn't like that. I didn't
It was
like
just
that.
like, that was just
I
like,
didn't like
because like, her brother had to choose and
yeah,
he chose. It was the obvious choice and even
obviously.
Perth knew that. And I'm like, that's really
Perth
depressing.
sacrificed himself,
Yeah.
basically, as he was always said he was going to do. Like he was always said, I will die for you and your brother. Like it's like fine. This is my duty. So in a way, I was just like, oh, well, he got his wish, I guess, to be honored in that way. So I don't know. But
Yeah.
yeah, I was so sadness. Um the
I almost feel like his death, like his almost death, the main character guy,
yeah.
that maybe that could have been like an ending. I don't know. I'm just
I
trying
don't
to think
know.
like there was a
I
certain
like how it
plot point.
ended.
I like how it ended, but I just feel like either some had been cut out or like a different ending kind of to end like with the plot because there was like I felt like there was a lot of anti-climax happening to where it felt like it should have been a climax, like the end of it or a conclusion.
Like it should be the big battle scene, right?
That's
Ending, but it
yeah,
wasn't.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah,
Well, the big confrontation is going to be in the next final book, right? Burn is the final book.
yeah. I think if and she got picked up, so I don't know if that's all. She said it's going to be
I
published this year.
this year because I feel like she's
The
not going
indie,
to. This book is not coming out for a while.
she said the indie version will be released this year, but the other two are being they're the first one or first two are going to be
Spark
traditionally
and yeah,
published now.
yeah,
So but the second book I think is released next year, but like
Yeah.
traditionally published. But yeah, I was like, oh dear God, no. But she said, yeah, the ND one that way so people could get matching paperbacks. So I was like, please, I
Yeah.
made a little match. But
That's nice
the
of
other,
her. She knows
yeah,
that.
yeah. So I
I
think
don't
she
own
probably
any of
they
them,
go
so
through
I don't.
several things. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think they'll But yeah, she said sometime this year. But now I'm
Okay.
like, it's August or September now, so now I'm like,
Yeah, I know it's been pushed
hopefully,
back, which is fine. I don't mind. But I was just thinking because she got picked up with the first two, those haven't come out yet. We might have to wait a while because then you have to have the third one come out and then the last one. But maybe she's doing it. Did they
yeah,
only pick up the first two?
sometimes they do that, but sometimes they do it where the indie version still gets published, kind of like Sarah Kate did with her oh gosh, what's that series?
Ouch.
The club series, whatever it was. But yeah, they did
Huh.
that. They did that where the indie ones released, and then they had certain time frames where they stopped publishing those ones, and then went to the traditionally published one for that book.
Gotcha.
Um,
Well, that's good then.
but yeah, but all the indie versions of the first three have been pulled, I think, now for
Oh,
releasing.
yeah. I definitely
But
can't wait for it. I'm ready for it. Please
you
don't
could
let
read
it
the
be a
first
thousand
three chapters.
pages.
You could read the first three chapters on her website. I
No, I
started
don't do
reading.
that. I don't.
I
I do
started
not do
reading the
that.
first chapter.
No, I do not do that because it's too much of a tease, and then I can't continue. I don't like the tease.
I can't think.
I usually I don't do any of the teasers. Like when in the back of the books where it'll have like the beginning of the next book if you're like
Hmm.
if
Oh,
it's
I
already
always
come
forget
out.
it. I read it anyway.
Oh no, I don't read
I'm
those.
gonna forget it.
I don't read it. Like unless I have that book, I don't read it. I can't do the teases.
It's all on the way. I'll read the first chapter while it's on the way. But yeah, like when you're like, oh, I'm in the middle of this book. Let me order the second one because I have to continue. I'm
Yeah,
like in
no.
the car. I'm like, I had to immediately pick up the second one.
Yeah. I know in my like for myself I wouldn't read it right away. So like I'm not going to start like half of a portion 1% of a book. I just won't. I just can't.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I loved meeting all the gods in this, like all the kingdoms and the not the gods, but what are they called? The
Oh gosh, what are they called?
what are those people called again?
See, I don't know what they're called. Like
I don't remember. The woman with the mind control stuff, that was
the
cool. Umbra King Queen.
um um.
Umbros.
See, I can never Umbros. There you go.
And then the prison stuff was friggin' cool. And how she gave him
that
every chance.
that was awesome.
That
I love
was
that.
cool. I do think it's weird. Like she just like kind of knows how to use her powers. Like there's not really any like growing. But I don't also want to see a training montage. Like I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I think she handled it pretty well though, because like she didn't realize what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I do remember she like was losing control, being very, very hot. I think in the sand, that 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 country, that
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever that
When she
is.
starts like,
Um,
oh,
and
it's
he goes
freezing
there.
outside, but I'm so hot.
Yeah, yeah, like he goes there, like she thought she was going to attack him or whatever, but he ends up with their magic together being able to
Yeah, she
hopefully
got
put him
me
out.
because I thought she was hit by a godstone arrow or something, and that's why she was hot. I was like, girl, you've been hit. I was like, girl. I'm like, you're a doctor. You know
Ironically,
something wrong.
ironically, it was Luther who got hit already.
Ironically.
Okay, that was really annoying, and I get it. I get because of the conversation when they were had, and she thought he was talking about Taryn, but it was still like, which is better, which is more, oh gosh, what's the word? Words are leaving me today. Which is better, basically, to pretend nothing is wrong
Hmm.
or acknowledge that they're dying or something like that, and that whole thing, and like not reveal something, and like that was a very good indicator at the time. It's very you think it's Taryn, but I just don't like how he's way too much of a martyr. even though I know why, but I just didn't like it got a little bit too much. When I'm like, okay, you're delayed in Umbros, you need to say something.
Yeah, and
But
I just
I don't want him to just like, accept it and die.
yeah, and I feel like that whole thing too was annoying me because she says she's this doctor. She recognizes things when something's going bad. She recognizes symptoms in other people, but yet she's not recognizing symptoms in Luther. Like oh, he's
Oh
all
yeah,
of a sudden very tired and
and
he's
he's hot, and I'm
sweating.
like,
He's
they
hot and
don't
he's
get hot.
sweating. You
Yeah,
just you just healed Taryn.
you just said that they don't that the descendant do never get like fevers.
Sick
So
or fevers. You just
like,
said that. So why is she being this dumb person? Like she's been a dummy.
yeah, she got
Oh,
like distracted by all the drama, and it was just kind of like, oh man, like
it just
really,
didn't make
it
sense. That part
Luther,
didn't make sense. And then, oh,
Luther.
I'm just giving him space. No, you've never given him space in your this whole book, this whole 3 books. You've never gave him space. Please, something's wrong. You know it. One other thing, I will say that didn't always work for me. I felt it was a little preachy in places, like when she's talking about
Oh, girl power.
girl power, but also the humans are being dragged down and blah blah blah. And I can't say like I just felt like some of that was a little preachy, like when she's talking about the rights and wrongs of the world and
Try and probably draw parallels to old.
right, yeah. It's just it was repetitive and it began to get like less like let me lead you to greatness and more like let me tell you what to do. Let me tell you about it. It
Mm-hmm.
just felt like I don't know. That's not what a leader does. Like a leader leads you, not pushes you out the door, kind of
Yeah.
thing. I don't know. Like I can't say it very well. I'm not very eloquent about it, but I just get those preachy
Understand.
feelings.
At the
Yeah,
end of the day, we're
it's
gonna,
I'm so tired, and my toe hurts. We didn't say that live, but right before we got on live, I dropped something on my big toe and it's throbbing. It hurts so bad. Anyways, besides the point.
I
Um,
I feel like I said her writing and then, like she. So I know there's a lot of things we didn't like, but I'm like for her this being her what debut series, it's pretty gosh darn impressive on her writing of just not just plot for fantasy, but also characters and the
yeah.
relationship, romance
Mhm.
in it, because not everyone does that very well or balances that well. So like the fantasy and the romance, it's like a true romantasy in my eyes, because I love fantasy romance, but I love it when it's split down the middle where the romance and the fantasy world is like
Right.
both very imperative to the story.
The characters are layered. They have layered
Mhm.
decisions. They don't always make the right decisions, and you really pull for them or you really hate them in certain instances. And yeah, I agree. The writing is impeccable. Like
Yeah,
it really
I
is.
could I could never
I
not
could
not like
well,
I could never.
what bad writing. I don't know anything, but all I know is I really like it.
As a
I
reader,
feel
I know
I
what I
feel the
like.
depth. Yeah, I feel the depth in the story. And I don't always need that. Like I love a good quick entertaining read,
Oh yeah,
but
yeah,
this totally works for me. Like
yeah.
I aside from
This
it
is what
being
I
1,000
love.
pages.
I know this is truly like an epic romantasy, and
It
that's what
is.
I like. It's when you want that epic romantasy, but there's also you like I said, we've always agreed there's layers, there's
Mhm.
spectrum of romances, and sometimes we want an epic romantasy, or sometimes we just want a lot of romance and spice, not a
If
lot of world
her
building, just a fun
right.
time.
Yeah, if her goal was epic fantasy romance, she
Mhm.
nailed it. She nailed
Yeah,
it. That's
yeah.
this series nails it. I mean,
Mhm.
if you're going for weird and you nail weird, then that's good too. But she's going for epic fantasy romance. She delivers. It's a great book.
Mhm.
If you're looking for an epic fantasy romance, pick this one. You'll feel like you got your money's worth.
And it's a thick book, and that's what
It's
I
a
think I
thick
like.
book.
Why I liked buying like fantasy romance before I joined BookTube.
Yeah.
I would buy fantasy, like young adult. I was looking for the romance in young adult, but that was
Mhm.
really what I was looking for with those epic fantasy romances, kind of basically what I was looking for. And I always felt like it's worth the investment because I got a bigger story, the epic story. So it
Yeah.
was worth the big book.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. No, the books are gorgeous. They're all the same. they're 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 all the same height.
We're just waiting for Burn. So
Just waiting for Burn, and that'll be complete. I am a trilogy girl, so like I would have
you
been
like
fine with the final book, but I love what she did with this book in meeting. Like she really did build up this epic battle that's going to happen in the fourth book with
oh
what's
yeah,
his
the
face
prophecy, like that
prophecy.
vision.
Okay,
Yeah.
can we talk about the prophecy and what we think
Oh,
is going to happen?
that's my first.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Part of the prophecy is somebody has to die to give the crown to someone else, right? She gonna die to give it to Luther, and Luther doesn't want her to die, right? Is that what's gonna happen? She has to die so Luther can take the crown. I think that's to me that is what the prophecy means.
What did the
But he's
prophecy
fighting
say?
it. He's like, no. I think he knows.
Well, that's why Sarai was she can't say, but when she asked her like, is he's the heir, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, yeah, and like even Luther's like, probably, but like I don't.
That's why
That
he's
would
been
mean
trying
you're
to
dead. So
die.
no. He's like
To
that would
me,
mean you're dead.
to me, that's why he's been trying to die. That's why he tried to die for her in the second book, and that's why he didn't want to say anything when he got Godstoned to death almost. He held it from her because he wanted to tell her, nope, this is the prophecy, because he is very devout. He believes in this
He's
prophecy.
very devout.
He's
Yeah.
very devout. This is what's going to happen. As much as he loves her, he has been resigned to the fact that he will see her in the afterlife. So it's like, I feel like that's what the prophecy is, and she's going to lose it. She's going to lose it when she figures it out, and she's going to ruin everything,
Wait.
because that's what DM
In
does.
Vision, they're on the same battlefield, but I
They're on the
think
same
they're on
battlefield.
opposite sides.
We don't know if they're on
She
this.
turns.
We don't know.
Does she turn bad?
We don't know. Does she go with her father?
Yeah, maybe she
Because
has to.
the
Maybe
blood
he
is
forces her.
the blood is the only thing that can release her, right? Is she now imprisoned to where, like, how her blood released her
She's
dad?
stuck on an island right now. Yeah.
She's stuck on the island.
Well, then she got stabbed. Who knows what's going
How
on?
does she get off the island? What's gonna happen? How many years are gonna they're immortal, so how many years is she gonna be on the island? Are we gonna get a time jump? Are we gonna get it? No. I would be fine with that. I mean, what if she's on the island? Her hair's like,
No, I'd be horrible for her. Like that.
oh,
Poor,
she'd be horrible.
her and
Yeah. What
Luna,
if she
like,
gets?
and her brother, like kept waiting.
Yes.
Get
What
the
if she gets
human.
stuck on the island for like decades, and then she turns into her dad, and she's like, well, the only way I can be saved is to go join him. And she kind of
Yeah,
she kind
I
of
feel like
changes
I feel like she's gonna
180.
be. I feel like she's gonna be forced to have to work with her dad, or like he's going to basically play the little puppet marionette thing with her
Yeah.
on that, like basically threatening that he would hurt Luther.
Yeah.
Because basically they're basically the lost land or whatever it's called, and
Yeah.
they basically absorb everybody's powers. I think
Yeah.
they. So I'm like, that's what they
Or
do.
or maybe she's like, yeah, after all these years I've had it, I'm gonna go join dad. And then, the whole story is about how DM has turned or whatever, and Luther's on the opposite side. And yeah, they are on the opposite sides of the battlefield, but maybe the whole time, it was just a ruse from DM so that way she can get close to her dad and knife him. You know what I mean? Like, just
Yeah.
maybe it'll be a ruse the whole time.
Yeah.
Those are
See,
my
I just
predictions.
keep picturing that like vision on the battlefield. I'm like, oh, and they're
Yeah,
like
and it
standing
doesn't
close.
say whether
Like, does
they're on
that
the
mean like?
same side or not, right? We
And
don't know.
I feel like does that mean like they're distance and they can't be close to each other, but they see each other in distance and they're all like, I
But
gotta
is it on
reread
the
that
distance? They're just like
section.
on the battlefield together. They're not even that far from each other.
I think
But are they fighting each other, or are they on the same side? We don't know.
yeah, I think it showed up in the first book, right? So I gotta
Mhm.
reread that section in the first book to see what the vision and the
Yeah.
prophecy said. So, yeah.
You reread it and then you tell me.
Oh,
'Cause
I'm just gonna find those sections. I don't want to read the
I'm not
reread
gonna
the thing right
reread
now.
it.
I can't do it. I can't.
I'm not gonna reread it.
It's too close together. I probably will. I'll probably definitely will when the fourth one comes out. At least the snippets.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'll probably rewatch our lives to kind of go
I
back to everything we've
feel
done.
like I don't need to reread it to know what the book was about. Like I have
Yeah.
this like that's what I also love about it. Like each of these books are very clear in my brain to me. Like the first book
Hmm.
is just like figuring out her situation and that whole dynamic with Luther and getting infiltrated and figuring out what side she's on with the humans. The second book is the tournament, like and that whole situation. And then the third book is basically the road trip book and going to all the kingdoms and her gaining her powers and becoming who she's meant to be.
Yeah.
And the fourth
Yeah.
book is going to be the big battle. Because that's how epic fantasy romance works.
It's kind of weird. Like her her dad is just obviously there's something off on him. Is what happens when you're on probably in a little prison thing for centuries. But even before, like when she was the snippet with her mom and
Mm-hmm.
her interaction with him, he was just off. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Even before all that, but I don't know.
Yeah, it wasn't like a I would die for you kind of love. It was more possessive. Like you're the only one here and I don't want you to leave. I don't want you to leave me alone type of
It was more
love.
power.
It was
It
a
was just
power
power
thing.
because you're my way out or I don't know. And it was weird that like he wanted her to get pregnant, I thought, and then he wanted to try to kill DM. So I'm like
But did he want
something
to try to kill DM? Did he?
I don't know. Oh, maybe he wanted to spurt her blood on the thingamajiggy.
Maybe he just
I don't
needed a
know.
drop of her blood.
Just a drop.
Just a drop.
Just a
That's all it took.
just a
A
tiny
little teeny
bit.
drop. It was like
Mm.
it's just so cool the how like those scenes can be interpreted in so many ways and they interpret it in the book too. Like she says the same thing. Her mother thought like he was trying to kill her as a baby, but maybe she's like, well, maybe he just needed a bit of my blood because of the drippy drop thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I love her back and forth in her mind, seeing all sides of the story kind of thing because you're also experiencing that with her trying to think the same thing and she's like there's no good person here, there's no good side, like both sides are wrong, both sides are have bad things against them and she's trying to be an idealist and you can't be an idealist, you have to be a realist when these things. So I don't know.
Yeah. I think that's why I like DM so much. Like some people found her annoying, which I'm like, yeah, because
Yeah,
she makes human mistakes. But
I
like
love her.
she's learning
I
each
love
time. It's
her.
not like yes. And then I'm like, I find it's funny because I'm like the things that she thinks about. I'm like, well, yeah, that's how I would interpret it. That's probably why I was like, I didn't see it the first time about what Luther was doing, but I can just be, I'm
Yeah,
in her point of view,
yeah,
and like, oh yeah, that's what I would be thinking.
totally.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I love her.
yeah, I do.
I
I
love
do.
her feistiness too. Like I like even when she's wrong, she's feisty. I just love it. And
Yeah,
I now she's like all powerful DM, but like I did not see the crown like her having multiple crowns thing
that was
happen.
interesting.
That was interesting how that was playing out because when they were like your crown looks a little different in the first place and I was like, oh, okay. Like maybe she got some
Yeah,
just a little bit of power because she went to that place. No, she's the new crown. And
yeah,
I thought that was kind of cool.
yeah.
And then the
I
double
feel like
cross.
I feel like the hidden places in that middle section, in the
Yeah.
middle of the water. It's kind of
The
cool.
hidden places in the water in the middle of it.
Yeah, like it's like a little ring.
Yeah.
All of the So I'm like, it's gotta be in the middle. Like
I
circle,
kept
circle, dot, dot.
I kept thinking this book needed a good waterfall scene. You know what I'm talking about? And then every time they went to go wash, I was like, this book needs a waterfall scene.
Yes, you're talking about spicy times,
Mm-hmm. Or at least like a little touch.
or falling over a waterfall, that would have been fun. I always love those in books. I don't know why. In the movies, it's just really fun. Trying to
Some
fall
kind of
down
a
a waterfall.
waterfalls. I'll take any kind of a waterfall scene.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings, yes.
You know? Anyways. That was me just being edged so hard. It was like, give me something. I need something. Something. I do not like that. Like it's so intentional as a writer, I think, to like toy with the reader. Like it's just totally is just toying with the reader. And I just don't like it.
I thought it was. I just cried, especially when the mom interrupted the last before.
That one was like egregious.
That was hilarious. That was like so intentional, and I'm laughing because I'm like, I know she did that on purpose, and she's just like, haha.
Yeah. There's another book I read. I won't say which book because it would be a total spoiler, but like they're interrupted, and he like looks at them, and he's like, F it. And he just keeps going and finishes. And it's so good. So good. It's like
me that later what it is.
I won't DM you because it surprised me, and I was just like, hell yes.
Okay. You're saying.
And I will say, this is from part of it is on Stuff Your Kindle Day for free today, and I will tell you. I'll tell you. You need to download that book. Okay.
I think I did.
Okay. All right. Anyways, I don't know that I have anything else to say about this book other than I really liked it. I don't think I liked it as much as I certainly didn't like it as much as Glow. Glow is still by far my favorite.
Yeah, so
I think it's like kind of tied with the first one. Like I think there were parts in it that I didn't really like, but then there's a lot of parts that I loved.
Which is funny because Glow like usually has book 2 is always like the second book syndrome most of the time, and I'm like book 2 is like outstanding. Like that's why I'm like for me
outstanding
thing better, and like each of them has been 5 stars for me just because of the
yeah.
I don't know, I just devoured them, and I was just so in the world. So Penn just grabbed me by the throat. I'm like, here's the story. You're in here. You're in this world. I have you.
I know. She's gonna be at Romanticycon, and I really need to buy the books before I see her. But or I'll buy them there. I am so excited. She's like one of the ones I'm super excited to see there, and yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait.
I gotta join one of these sometime. I always never think of it ahead of time. I'm like,
yeah,
I'm just like definitely don't want to go by myself.
Well, I'm going by myself. Well, I'm not technically I'm not going, but I'm driving down by myself. But I mean Maggie and then some of the other girls will be there, and then I'm rooming with Carrie from Booked for Romance, and then I think Christy from Christy Reads a Lot is going as well. So like I will be meeting up with people, but yeah, Maggie, Jenny, and Steph from the readathon are all going to be there too, and some others. So it'll be a fun time. I've never been to a book event, so
for me it's just weird. Like, well, this year was the first time I traveled on an airplane for work a couple of times, and that was nerve-wracking.
Yeah,
I had a lot of anxiety about it. It was so bad. Like I literally have not been on an airplane by myself, like going traveling at all. So it was.
I haven't either.
It was before apps were a thing and that kind of a thing. So now that I've been through it, I think I could do it as long as I'd be able to know. But I definitely would want to travel with somebody or meet somebody there, so I wouldn't with hotels and things like that. So
yeah, I've been really like trying to boost my confidence in driving because since COVID, like I really haven't driven far by myself at all. I used to love driving so much, but when COVID happened and I had my big like basically mental breakdown, and I could not drive anywhere by myself. I just made me so anxious. I'd have panic attacks and all those kind of things. But the last few years have been really like. I don't really have a choice to not drive. Like I am the driver in my family, so I have to get back there. And I was so proud of myself this last weekend. I drove like almost 2 hours by myself, just running errands around town and stuff. And I did it. I was like, I feel good. Like it was such a confidence boost. So I'm like, I know I can drive 6 hours down to LA. Like I know I could do it. It was just so funny because I used to do that all the time. Like I would do that every weekend when I lived down there. I would come back up here to like go home and see my mom and my dad and to like have that kind of taken away from me because of my anxiety, like really hurt. Like it hurt for so long. And so it feels really good to get that back. It's just hard because I'm totally the person too that like everything scares me. But if I just not do everything, do I just not live my life? Like I'm like, no, like you will not take this away from me. So I just do it. You know, I have to like build my confidence up by taking little morsels at a time. And so, you know, a 10-minute drive here, a 5-minute drive here, and now I'm up to 2 hours. So, took me several years to get here, but we're here.
Yeah, I think for me, just like because I can understand my mother-in-law has that kind of anxiety with driving, like with highways and especially. But like for me, like for me, it's like traveling, and I think it's because of not traveling alone without my husband.
Yeah.
And all the horror stories that happen. Like, as a woman,
you're a woman by yourself traveling.
right? Yeah.
We can't help but be even a little bit scared about that. You can't help it because I don't know. I don't want to say we're easy targets or whatever, but like we are a target. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I totally get it. I totally understand.
Yeah, but what did you say? Okay, so next year for Romanticon 2026.
2026. And I love this con too because there are so many indie authors. You know, they're almost all indie authors and smaller authors. And so I'm really excited about that. Like, I can't wait for them all to sign my Kindle. I have like that Kindle, I have like paper or whatever underneath my clear case that I'm going to have them sign like that. And that's going to be my Kindle cover. You know how they do stickers and stuff? I'm going to do author signatures. So that's me.
That's awesome.
I can't wait for it.
Yeah, I've been trying to do. What was the one that Becky went to? A Polycon,
yeah.
See, like that was hard to go. Tickets are gone pretty much immediately. So it's like I'm like either the one that's live in Vegas or something that even that would be nice. But I'm like a lot of them, it's more contemporary romance.
Yeah, I don't want contemporary romance.
I want my loves. I want historical, paranormal, and fantasy like romance.
Yeah,
those. I like some contemporary. So
yeah, there is Steamy Lit. Steamy Lit too has historical romance authors at it, and that's one of the ones that I wanted to do. But I think they also do a good mix of like contemporary and fantasy authors and those kinds of things. But they also had historical romance authors. Yeah. And that one's in LA too. But that was a little bit more costly for me. It's kind of out of my budget. So I think the tickets are like $250, I want to say, something like that. And Romanticon, I want to say like I just did the daytime tickets, like the base tickets, and I think there were 75. So it's also the first year that they're doing it. So I wouldn't count on it being 75 next year, but
yeah, I'm not even big on like the ball dinner things. Like I just
me neither.
Maybe some panels and see authors. That's really all I want to do.
Carrie and I are like, we're over 40. We don't want to go to prom again.
Like I don't.
That's what it feels like, a prom.
Even when I was in high school, I was never into prom.
Yeah, I didn't go to mine for a reason. Okay, I'm not going to go to yours. No, I think it's cool that they're having it, and they'll have like cosplayers there, like Azri Sand, and like that's kind of cool. Like they have some of that stuff, but it's just not for me. So like, it's just not for me.
Watch it on a screen, like a ball thing, like that, than just because people. I don't want to be vegan.
Yeah, but I'm going to like the 2-day event part, just the signing part. So I'll be.
Okay.
I'm excited about it.
That's awesome.
And Penn Cole's gonna be there.
I know, I'm excited for you. Oh my
She's gonna have a super long line. I know it because when the things were announced on Instagram, hers was like liked the most. I was like, dang girl, dang. No.
I'm just so glad. Like it just feels like Holly Renee even got picked up. So it's like I'm just so glad. Like I'm seeing the strategy that these publishers are doing. I love it, but it also makes it very hard for readathons where they can't be an indie when you say an indie author, but now they're traditionally published. Like freaking A.
I know. It's to me, I mean, I'm not the rule maker, so I don't know. But to me it was like if that book was published indie, then it would count as indie. But
Yeah.
apparently you have to know whether they've ever been published as traditionally or not. I wouldn't know that. I would know that. So I would
A
probably
lot of
just mark
authors
them
do
all.
both. They still
Yeah, a
count
lot.
some of them, like Kennedy Ryan. She's like, I
Kate
have certain
Bateman.
books that are indie and certain books that I actually negotiate for traditionally published. But there's
Carissa
some books I want
Broadbent.
to keep it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Carissa Broadbent, Kate Bateman. There's tons of
Yeah.
authors that do both. So, but I get it. Like we want to lift up the authors that have never
Not
been
big.
traditional. So I understand the rule. Like I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I'm a
know.
rule follower. You know this.
I am dying to know. Any readathon talk. I'm dying to know what the mirror does for you guys. Can you
Man.
say?
Hmm.
Can you say? Didn't you guys win the mirror? You guys didn't win the mirror? I
Mm-mm.
thought you did win the mirror.
Stay tuned.
Oh shoot. You're right. Why am I thinking you're on a different team? God, I'm terrible.
I'm on Raul. You know,
Like you're on
second chance.
Raul. You're on Raul. I know.
I still love it. It's like my personality.
Just saying. My team is very heavily pressured to attack. Very
Who is me?
heavily. My team is getting very heavily pressured to attack.
Yeah.
We've
I
been
think that's been
attacked
implied
twice.
Huh?
We've been attacked twice now.
So you say.
Not so I say. Fact.
I'm saying this, Scout's honor. We did not attack anybody. Was it Scouts? Is this like we did not attack
Listen,
anybody?
I believe you, okay? Because I know Phantom, and Phantom is devious.
Yeah. There's a lot of shenanigans going on, and what's driving me nuts is I'm like, wait, this is the first time. I just need to understand. I'm getting confused, and I'm like,
Yeah. Who on your team went rogue?
chaos. It's chaos. That's all it is. It just I got to order the chaos.
I know.
Which probably
I love
makes me
this
a prime
readathon.
target because of
I'm
it.
already having so much fun, though. I'm having
It's
so much fun. Yeah. I love it.
So next book was supposed to be Flowers for the Devil.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We picked
want
one.
to do that for this month?
What I was thinking, actually, I hate putting that book off again because I really want to read that book, but because of the readathon, should we do a Gothic historical? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, because that one that we picked is dark, but I don't think it's Gothic.
Right. I don't think it's more Victorian. I don't think it's Gothic.
It's like a dark Victorian, like Jack the Rip or like Jekyll and Hyde kind of thing.
Right. So I did have some that I had written down for Gothic historicals. Well, one of them is Erica Ridley book, Too Wicked to Kiss. That is a Gothic historical series.
I literally had put that on one of my options for my TBR.
Let's do it because it's shorter.
Shorter. I like your thought process there. Yeah, let me double check because I think that's what it was. Hold on.
That was one of them, but I think that one's my top one. But I have others if you want to check out.
Yeah,
others.
that was the one I picked. Yeah, because it actually said Gothic and it's a Gothic romance series. So yeah.
Yeah, and I love Erica Ridley. So yes. Yeah, Too Wicked to Kiss.
Let's do it. It was already on my TBR. I was like, as an option. So
perfect, because I have it downloaded already. I got it for free, so I was like, yes.
Yeah, I think I have it for free too.
Perfect.
Boom.
So our next book.
Boom. This one. I don't know.
Oh wait. Here we go. All right. So, and do we have a date? If we didn't talk about this. But I will basically just say sure to whatever you say.
which is hilarious because like hear me, I'm just like, is this okay? I'm just kind of over here. You're just like,
I don't
I don't
care.
feel, I don't
Sure.
feel.
If I'm home, I'll be on. Um,
Um,
Probably the 20th or the 27th. Those are Fridays. We could do
mhm.
Thursday again too. I'm okay with a Thursday.
Yeah, I don't mind a Thursday.
It
Let's
just has to be at
do.
6 my time because I'm
All
not
right.
home until then.
Yeah, let's do the 26th because
Okay.
the actually the week before my daughter's getting tonsil surgery.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you God for making it happen.
Is that why she was at the ER? Oh, poor
Yeah,
girl.
they keep swelling up, and every time it happens, we have to go to the ER because she gets
Oh,
sick. So, yeah,
poor
because she can't breathe.
girl.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
well, I can't wait for her to get those things out of there then. Even though it's
yeah. That
surgery.
I feel bad for her. Like that, I was 5 when I got them taken out. She literally just had turned 5
Oh,
to have the
oh,
surgery.
oh
Her
my
birthday.
goodness. Okay, well, Too Wicked to Kiss by Erica Ridley. That's our next book. And it's going to be, the live show will be at 6 p.m. September 26th, PST, 9 p.m. Eastern.
And that'll be on my channel that time.
And if you're joining the readathon, it's a perfect book for the readathon. It's a gothic historical romance book. And it's much shorter. It's much shorter
I love it.
than Heat of the Everflame.
So much shorter.
So much
So
short.
much
I
shorter.
need a short book, Crystal. I can't do another long book. I
See,
can't.
this is why
Can't do it.
we offload because the fantasies are larger, like
Yeah.
many more pages. So the
Yeah.
historical romance is a little bit more of like a I like
It-
that.
yeah. Yeah.
Changing it up.
Change it up. Change it up. Great.
Awesome.
Okay. I don't know about you, but
All
I have
right.
to go mom now. So
Yeah. Alrighty.
thank you, everyone, for joining us. And we'll see you
Awesome.
later.
All right. Bye.